Hello, this is the intro.
No.
Okay. Before we get started, I'd like to give a special shout out to Miss Kraut. She's super pregnant, gave us this camera, and that's how we're recording this. Amen. She's in Target a lot. Who knows why? Let's get into it.
She's gonna pop a watermelon out soon.
That was just rude.
How? Ow! Ow! Ow!
Today we're going to be talking about winners and losers of free agency in the offseason as of March 13th at 12:36 p.m. Central Time. Yeah, some big moves that happened yesterday. It was like all over the place. Was Baker Mayfield got traded to the Bills. Antonio Brown signed.
Baker Mayfield got traded to the Bills?
Yeah, I'm making a joke.
Oh, okay.
Laugh.
Ha 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 ha. You mean Antonio Brown got traded to the Bills?
No.
And they got yeeted?
Yeah, so big news that's happened so far. Antonio Brown did or did not go to the Bills, and then was like, frick you guys, I'm retiring. You think he was,
Percocet.
Molly Percocet.
Do you think that Vontae Davis inspired him? He was like, "Oh, this dude, he retired. He retired in the middle of the game. I'll do it before I even start one."
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised the Bills are that bad.
Yeah. There's some pretty big moves. Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown.
I think it's been the craziest offseason in a long time. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Especially compared to the NBA, because NBA is like always crazy, and the NFL is usually
the NBA. We've had two crazy trade deadline beginning of offseason, back to back.
Like I'm saying, the NFL is becoming more like the NBA, where they're more willing to move players, and players are more willing to take a stand.
2 or 3 years ago, you hardly ever heard of
Odell
that guy getting traded, or Le'Veon Bell leaving teams. Players stayed with where they were drafted, pretty much. Especially quarterbacks, Kirk Cousins signing somewhere else. Quarterbacks always stayed where they were drafted, pretty much, unless there was another guy, and there wasn't another guy when Kirk Cousins.
It's kind of nice to make it more interesting in the off season compared to just seeing people get re-signed, unless you're the Cowboys, and then you just let everybody go and you don't sign anybody in the off season.
He signed your fullback.
Oh yeah, the fullback, yeah. Woo! I'm pretty good.
Jeff Heath.
No, he's bad.
When Jeff Heath, what about him?
He was on the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's on the Cowboys. He does stuff. He was better when we had 2 starting safeties and he could come in and make a play every once in a while. But now that he's the main guy,
now he just tries to hit people, and it used to work, but now it's just
I mean, I love white guys. I love all kinds of guys. I love guys. But Jeff Heath, he's kind of okay. Next topic.
Let's talk about safeties.
Let's talk
What
about
are safeties?
Eric Weddle went to the Rams.
Wait, the play, the 2-point, or the position?
I'd say that the Rams and Chiefs both got better, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Well, the Chiefs lost D Ford
and they're starting
and
center.
Justin Houston.
Are you talking about the safety position or all around?
Well, they definitely got better at safety.
Yeah. Well, I was just making sure.
Well, I didn't know if the Chiefs got better. Offensively, I think they're going to be around the same.
Do you think Kareem Hunt not being there is going to hurt them a lot?
No.
You don't think
so? I think Damian Williams,
they got Carlos Hyde. I think Carlos Hyde and Kareem Hunt can put up the same production.
Their center.
Yeah, that's going to hurt them. Where do you go?
Bills.
Bills are
I
going to the playoffs. You heard it here first.
Side note, Charlie Casserly, the guy who drafted
oh, yeah.
They need to take his media credentials away.
Yeah, when they said the whole Dez thing.
Yeah, he said that the Cowboys need to throw to Dez less next year.
Yeah, and they threw to him too much this year.
But he was the guy that everybody got the headlines from saying that Kyler bombed his interviews.
Yeah, we kind of like Kyler.
Well,
go Pokes. Boomer sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Browns made probably the biggest move that. I know it was rumored that it was going to happen.
I didn't think it was going to happen. Well, because a year ago...
It's been rumored for like a year.
Yeah.
Everyone was
not necessarily to the Browns, but they're going to trade him. And then the GM came out and said, we're not going to give him an extension and then trade him. And then they gave him an extension and traded him.
It was completely out of the blue, basically.
And it doesn't...
That's why I think it's hard to compare to any other move.
It doesn't make sense because, why would you sign him for so much guaranteed money and then trade him? It was a first, second, and third?
First, third, and Jabril Peppers.
Well, maybe they just saw their team going on a downhill slope and they were probably trying to let the fall, not hurt as much. So they're trying to get as many draft picks. Because their team has been going down, and maybe they just thought that Odell, they can get a lot for him. Which I think they could have got more.
Well, if they're going to do that, then they shouldn't have picked Saquon last year.
I agree.
They should have traded Odell then.
You got to pick somebody. I don't know what to tell you.
You can't build a franchise around a running back.
Yeah. Well, Dallas Cowboys are trying. It's not working too well.
You can't if your O-line is terrible.
Yeah. Their O-line isn't terrible.
Yeah,
I'll say it's about average.
The Giants?
Yeah.
No, it's bad.
It's bad.
Their starting tackles are
Well, their starting tackles are really bad, but their inside guys aren't horrible.
They're not good. Not good enough to
They have one good... Oh, wait, no. Didn't he go to the Chargers? Or he went somewhere. Yeah, never mind. It's really bad.
He's not there.
Yeah.
The Raiders... Yeah.
Because I don't think any of this is going to matter. I'm going to be honest here. I think AB is really good.
I just think it's funny that they traded Khalil Mack because they didn't want to pay him, and then they paid Antonio Brown a lot of money.
Well, yeah, that's the irony here. They did fire their GM, which kind of makes sense.
And then they got Mike Mayock.
I mean, I'm not too mad at him. He's probably trying to do the best he can.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you can't really.
But did you guys know that when John Gruden went to Tampa Bay and he won the Super Bowl? I think he won it his second year.
He won it with Dungy's team.
Yeah, exactly. And then, but they had a great defense, right? Which I'm not saying.
He wanted to get rid of them to get better offense. Yeah.
And that's what he's kind of doing with this, even though their only defense is Khalil Mack.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. And it worked horribly last time. So why does he think it's going to work this time?
He traded away Booger McFarland.
What? He did? Well, I can't blame him for that.
Who's that?
The Booger Mobile.
Oh, the guy who...
I hate that dude.
You don't know who Booger McFarland is?
I don't
Him and Jason Witten fought all the time. That was fun.
Yeah.
We can talk Jason Witten coming out of retirement.
Yeah. Well, all right. What do you want to know about Jason Witten? He's probably going to run the slowest. He's going to be slower than the O-line.
If you look at his grade from Pro Football Focus,
it was
it was
was it 69?
He got up to an 89, then he kind of plateaued.
I think he had a 90 in 2014, and then ever since
he had an 89,
70,
88, 90, and then he dropped to 70, and and then the year that Romo he dropped to low mid 70s, and he dropped to low 70s whenever Dak was a quarterback, and so I just don't think Dak is gonna throw it to a tight end.
Well, what I hope the Cowboys will use this as an excuse to not address a tight end, because they still need a tight end.
Well, and I don't think he went down because Dak became a quarterback. I think it was less. Well, yes, it became, but not because Dak doesn't throw to him, because he threw to him a lot. It was less that he was running more 2-yard outs. That was a safety valve for Dak, and then he would get 5 yards. With Tony, he ran more longer routes.
Well, Tony wanted to bomb it downfield to Dez.
Yeah.
I love Tony.
Yeah.
Rip.
Yeah.
Big rip.
So Steelers. What about them? They lost probably two of the biggest names, skill players right now.
Yeah.
And didn't get much for it. They wouldn't trade Le'Veon last year.
Yeah.
So you just lose him for nothing. And then they lose Antonio Brown because they wouldn't trade him during the year. And they get a third and a fifth. So, and in the standpoint of you looking at your talent on your team, you still have guys, right? You still have Big Ben, you have James Conner, you have Juju.
Well, you have Big Ben for now.
Yeah.
And how good is Big Ben going to be without Antonio Brown and Juju?
And they lost their starting tackle.
And everyone was really, really quick to
What was the record last year?
They were
8-7, I think.
8-7.
Yeah, same as the Browns. But everyone was really quick to blame Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell, like, as to why it fell apart. But I think that the thing that everyone is just, like, ruling out really quick is Big Ben's probably just, like, a jerk in the locker room.
He probably is.
Well, like, have you seen that episode of The Shop, the LeBron show?
With AB?
Yeah, you remember that game this year against the Broncos where the Steelers, they went all the way down the field and Big Ben threw an interception that was, like, right to a D lineman that was dropped back?
Yeah.
Well, apparently after that game, they had a meeting and Ben told AB he needed to run a better route.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's also, not to discredit Antonio Brown, but that's also his viewpoint of the situation. I'm sure there's two different...
Well, yeah. No, I'm not saying AB or that Ben is wrong.
I just don't think any of them meshed well with each... Well, I think they didn't mesh well with Big Ben. I think that was a big problem.
I think if you have skilled players like Le'Veon Bell and even Martavis Bryant and Antonio Brown, like, all on the same team, and the O-line that they had, you worry more, like, you need to try and figure out who the common denominator is on who people don't like, and realize that maybe Antonio Brown, like, is a diva, and is this, like, he's kind of, like, does things that people don't like, but, like, maybe Big Ben's the problem, and investing in a quarterback that's already old, that isn't performing what you would want him to do, just isn't the right decision.
Yeah.
You have...
Well, I have a question. Would you rather have Big Ben in this team, or the old team with Nick Foles?
What do you mean the old team? Like with Antonio and Le'Veon?
Yeah.
Definitely that, probably. If that's right. I mean, I think the problem with Big Ben is he's not that good. You know? If he was good enough, if he was like Tom Brady level where he could call guys out because he's performing, it wouldn't be a problem. But when you go out and throw 3 interceptions and lose to the Jaguars in the playoffs, and then you come back the next year and criticize your star wide receiver.
I think it's one of those things where he was so good that he could do that, and he hasn't been able to change his ways yet because he's not accepting the fact that he's regressing so much.
He's got like a little Allen Iverson syndrome going on here.
Yeah, but the Steelers don't want to trade him. Or not trade him, but get rid of him.
I want to know what they're going to do next, because they're probably going to be decent next year, right? Like, they're not going to be butt awful.
Yeah, I mean...
So they're not going to have a high draft pick, assuming unless they play a full year without him.
I think that's also on Big Ben.
Do you think they're going to draft a quarterback, or do you think they're going to play their cards with who they have now?
Well, I think they'll play their quarterback eventually.
Well, they have Dobbs, like you said, Rudolph. I'm sure... They can draft a quarterback, but they also have needs on defense that they might want to address first.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, they're not going to be drafting high enough to really get a stud.
No, I know what you mean.
Like, we're going to have people like Tua next year and Trevor Lawrence after that, but they're not going to be in the running for either of them if they have
Unless they trade, like, all their players and then move up.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, then...
Yeah, I know. So who do you think has had the best offseason?
Browns.
Browns? Are you with that?
Yeah.
I mean, the Browns are, like, legitimately, like... should make the playoffs next year, no questions asked.
Oh yeah, well because their division isn't good.
They're the favorites in their division.
And it's funny because I feel like people are forgetting that they got Kareem Hunt and Olivier Vernon, who are, I don't know if Kareem Hunt was the All-Pro, but Olivier Vernon was
Kareem Hunt's gonna be
a few years ago, but
yeah.
Kareem Hunt's gonna be suspended for like the first.
How many years are left on Olivier Vernon's contract?
Probably 2, I think. I don't know.
He had that one really good year when they made the playoffs in 2016, so. But ever since then, he just hasn't been the same. He's been in and out of their lineup a lot.
Yeah.
And then, moving on to like the more teams that didn't really make any moves that you're expecting moves from, 2 main ones are like my favorite team and you guys' favorite team, the Colts. They had the most cap going into this. I'm not really mad.
They got Devin Funchess.
Yeah, I like that move.
Even though he hasn't had 1,000 yards yet in his career.
It's a 1-year deal. I mean, he's a big receiver. On the Colts, like, you know, we have a ton of players with contracts coming up. And I think Ballard wants to build more through, like, the draft and signing players like Eric Ebron or someone who we can get cheaper.
Did you say Eric Ebron?
Yeah.
Will just cream his pants.
I gotta go get some new pants. Sorry.
Like players like that like people kind of, I don't know, ruled out or like stuff like that. didn't know we were going that far in, but
All right, better now.
and
So you're just saying more Eric Ebron.
Oh my! Stop saying Eric Ebron.
No, I think with how well Marlon Mack has played last year, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So if he starts to underperform, then
can
you
we
can
all
address the
say
running back situation.
I mean, like
This is my third pair of pants. I'm running out of pants.
Sit, please.
They just re-signed Pierre Desir, who shut down DeAndre Hopkins 3 times this year. So
The Texans, they are hurting right now.
Yeah, they lost Tyrann Mathieu. It'll be.
They got Jadeveon Clowney back. Well, did he sign an extension or just
He got tagged.
Okay.
And their O-line still isn't good.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson's overrated. Before the season started last year, I would have thought that the MVP was already given to him.
Yeah, that was bad.
That was the most annoying thing, because, like, he's okay, but, like...
I think he's pretty
that
good.
NFL
I
analysts just try to, like, suck off as many people as they can. So they
He played, like, 4 games.
I think you have to account for
like,
the fact that, like, he has DeAndre Hopkins, who, at this point, I'd probably say is the best receiver in the league.
Let's go back to the Cowboys.
Alright, well...
The Cowboys are garbage. I hate the Cowboys.
I don't think they're garbage. I think they're a good team. They just knock it.
No, that's not what I meant, but I hate
The
them.
problem with the Cowboys is that we had a great defense last year, and I don't think we can repeat that. I think we'll have some regression.
Well, not if we don't bring back our freaking best defensive player.
Yeah. I think just some of the players were playing outstanding. And, like, Leighton Vander Esch, I don't know if he
Well,
can
the
repeat
defense
what he
was
did.
really good, but it wasn't perfect. There were still times where it had to improve, like from the safety position.
Like, I don't think we can do what we did to the Saints in the regular season again. The bright spot for the Cowboys is that they're getting Travis Frederick back.
Well, they're supposed to.
It seems like it's going in the right way.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of good
it,
reports.
But, you know, he was the best center in the league for 4 years.
What?
Even if he comes back, I don't
He
know.
might not be the same.
Well, yeah, at least not immediately.
Now the best center is Ryan Kelly, so. And then the best guard is, Quentin Nelson.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And this was no facts needed.